Okay, so today we're going to talk about two different types of radical equations, and we are going to solve the first kind here where we have either just one radical or one exponent. So when you solve an equation, we're going to use the order of operations, and the steps are backwards. So first we have to start with adding and subtracting. So for number 1, move the 1 to the right-hand side. Then comes multiplying and dividing. Divide by 3. And now from here, we deal with our exponents. Because we have a square root, to eliminate the square root, we're going to square both sides. Anytime we do that, we are going to possibly get an extraneous solution, meaning a solution that's extra and does not make the equation true. So we have to check every time to make sure the x values that we get are actual answers. So here we're going to square both sides. And now keep solving. I'm going to add the 5. And to eliminate that 1/2, we're going to multiply both sides by 2. We get x is 18. But we have to check it. So I'm going to take 18 and plug it back into the original and see if we get a correct solution. So is this going to equal 7? Let's see. The square root, or half of 18 is 9, minus 5. So then we get 3 root 4 plus 1. So that's 3 times 2 plus 1, which is 6 plus 1, which is 7. And that is what we needed. Yay. So 18 is our answer to this problem. We're going to do that all again with number 2. So we're going to pause the video so you can write down the problem. Okay, so to start we have to subtract 4. And then we're going to divide by -1. Square both sides. And keep solving. We get x is 0. But we have to check it, so let's see. I'm going to plug 0 in. We're going to see if we get 5. This is 4 minus the square root of 1. Well, the square root of 1 is 1, and 4 minus 1 is 3. Wait, that's not 5. Sorry, it's supposed to say not true, or not equal. So therefore, this is not a solution. There's no other choices, so there are no solutions. Well, we just did 2. Alright, let's try 3. Write that one down. We're going to pause the video so you can try 3 all by yourself before I show my work. Okay, so to start 3, I'm going to subtract 1. Divide by 3. And now to eliminate the power, the cube root, we're going to raise each side to the third. So we have 1 minus x squared equals 27. I'm going to subtract the 1. Oh, forgot something, I'm sorry. Negative 3 to the third is negative 27. So we have negative x squared equals negative 28. Divide by negative 1. So we're at x squared equals 28. And now to keep solving, I need to eliminate this power of 2. So I'm going to raise both sides to the 1/2. That's the same thing as square root. So I could say the square root of 28. But since this is an even rational exponent, or an even radical, I need plus or minus in my answer. So now we have to check and see, are both plus root 28 or negative root 28 solutions? So to check, I'm going to start with positive root 28 squared plus 1. Now when you square the square root, the radical disappears. 1 minus 28 is negative 27. The cube root of negative 27 is negative 3. And we get negative 8. Now if I made this my negative square root of 28, I would get to the same part right here because you're squaring a negative. So both positive and negative root 28 are our answers. Now number 4 is a little different. We actually now have the exponent instead of a radical. We're going to still start by dividing by 5. And to eliminate the power, I'm going to first split it up so that I have those 2 powers to think about. You don't have to do this step every time. Just doing this as our first problem will help us understand what's happening. So to eliminate the 1/2, I'm going to square both sides. And I get x to the third is 64. Now to eliminate the third power, I'm going to use a radical. We get x is 4. I don't need plus or minus because this is an odd rational power. So now we have to check it. So let's see if this equals 40. So 2 cubed is 8. 5 times 8 is 40. That's great. So 4 is our answer. Okay, so here's 2 more problems. We're going to pause the video so you can try these. Oh, no, I take that back. Let's do 5 together. I want to make sure we don't go to math jail with this one. Beware. Okay, so now that we have 5, to eliminate this radical, I'm going to square both sides. But be really, really careful. On the left, That eliminates my radical. On the right, that means that binomial multiplies by itself. So we have to distribute the x, distribute the negative 7. Combine our like terms. And now I'm going to move all my x's to one side. Let's see. I'm going to subtract x here. I'm going to add the 7 over here. We get 0 equals x squared minus 15x plus 56. And now we have a quadratic equation to solve. So let's factor. What multiplies to 56 that adds to negative 15? We're going to do negative 8 and negative 7. So that means x minus 8 is 0, x minus 7 is 0. So 8 and 7 are our possible answers. Let's check them both back in our original to make sure they are both solutions. We get the square root of 8 minus 7. Does that equal 8 minus 7? Let's see, that's the square root of 1 equals 1, and that is true, so 8 is an answer. Let's see if 7 is. So the square root of 0 equals 0. That is true as well, so both 8 and 7 are our answers. Okay, now I want you to try 6. I'll pause the video. I'm going to start by squaring both sides. And remember, that means multiplied by itself. So when I multiply these binomials together, we get 4x squared minus 20x plus 25. And now I'm going to move everything to one side. So minus the 3x squared over to this side. I purposely chose to move things to the right so that my x squared term is positive. Add the 12x. Minus the 10. And we have another quadratic to factor. So what multiplies to 15 that adds to negative 8? Would be negative 5 and 3. So x is 5 and x is negative 3. If you plug those both back in, they will both be solutions to that equation. So that was one type of solving. Now the second type is when we have two radicals. So starting here with number 7, because they're both a third root, I can take both sides to the power of 3. But remember, this power has to go to the 2 as well, so that's 8 times x. And then I'm going to move my x's all on the same side. Divide by 7, and 2 equals x. Don't forget, you have to check to see if it's extraneous. I'm going to do my checking over here. The third root of 2 plus 14, does that equal 2 times the third root of 2? Let's see, that's the third root of 16. I can rewrite that as 8 times 2, and the cube root of 8 is 2. So yes, they match, they're equal. So 2 is our solution. Okay, so now we're going to try 8 and 9. We're going to pause the video for you to try both of those before I show my work and my answers. And for 8, we're going to square both sides. I'm going to move my 7x to the right. We get x is 4. But let's check it. Let's see, that's the square root of 20. I hope this is as well. It will be, so 4 is our answer. And lastly, on 9, when you cube both sides, did you remember to cube the 2 as well? Distribute my 8. I'm going to add the 8x to the left. And let's move the 4 to the right while we're at it. So get x is 2. And when you put that back in, it will work. So 2 is your answer. Okay, so your homework is in your packet.